Us, Daddy
Big
Cable.
Daddy Cable. I would love that. I would love.
Shout out to the Powers of X-Men podcast.
Right, familia, Power of X-Men, we're with. Do you love Power of X-Men?
I love Power Rangers. Right? Yes, I do.
What's up, familia? Dayspring here to talk about Astonishing Iceman. We got a first look at a Fall of X title, our first official look at Astonishing Iceman. The creative team is going to be
Steve Orlando and Vincenzo Garatu.
And I gotta tell you, I'm really excited for this interpretation of Bobby. The marketing copy says that following the X-Men's greatest defeat this summer, that Bobby's going to go out on his own. And listen, I love Luciano Vehico. I was hoping he was going to be doing the art, given how successful the Iceman series was on Marvel Unlimited. But Fall of X, I am convinced now more than ever, especially after this marketing copy, that we're going to get a Red Wedding style Hellfire Gala. I think there's going to be that Nimrod extinction level event. The 5 are going to be killed off, and resurrection's off the table, and plenty of people are going to die. I mean, that's why we have Xavier bowed down over all of his dead students, removing his helmet, the cerebral helmet, being emblematic of the Krakoan age. And I think people are just going to die and they're not going to come back. Now, Iceman was on that image of Fall of X. So just because they're laying dead there in that image doesn't necessarily mean that they're dead or they're going to stay dead. But, you know, we know that's a homage to Fall of Mutants, and we know Fall of Mutants, it was largely deceptive that the world thought the mutants were dead, but they were actually still alive. So maybe this is going to be a situation where some people think the other is dead, but they're actually alive. Maybe the world thinks the mutant is dead. Who knows? But I think for purposes of this conversation, Iceman, Bobby Drake, believes his friends are dead, and he's going to go off on his own touring the Marvel Universe. Listen, again, I would have loved Luciano Vehico to do the art, but I think this is going to be a grittier Bobby. I think this is a Bobby that's going to have to grow up a little bit. I don't think he's going to be the fun, hey, I'm Iceman, I'm partying, I'm in LA, I'm playing practical jokes on people, I'm searching for love. All great stories. Don't get me wrong. Those are all great stories. But I think what we're going to see is Bobby having to navigate a world where mutant relations aren't very optimal. Because again, I've said this before, I think given that we have Bishop and Nimrod in the current timeline, we have Bishop who comes from a dystopian future where the mutants are in concentration camps, and we have Nimrod who also comes from a similar future who decimated the mutants. So I think Bobby is going to have to navigate a world where Krakoa is no longer around, right? I think Destiny's prophecy will come to pass, that Krakoa will be dissolved. Now, does that mean that everyone gets disbanded? Are they killed? Are they put into concentration camps? I don't know, but Bobby is somehow going to evade all of this. He's going to have to confront himself, and he's going to be navigating the Marvel Universe. We know the Avengers Unity Squad is coming back, and they're going to help mend human-mutant relations. That's why they were created in the first place. That is why they're coming back now, as we found out during the MegaCon panel in Orlando. So what's Bobby's role going to be in all of this? I am so excited. The art looks great. I think Steve Orlando is a proven writer. I'm not, I haven't landed too well with Marauders, but there's no doubt that he could write Captain Kate. And I think if you're reading the current Scarlet Witch series, that he's penning right now with Sarah Pichelli. It is so well done. It is a fun book of seeing Wanda tour the Marvel Universe herself, confronting, monthly stories that are kind of one-offs, all kind of like stringing together, right? I think it's going to be a fun series. And another character that's receiving a grittier treatment is going to be Captain Kate Pride. She's going to become Shadow Cat, Cat with a K. And we know she is going to be going out and giving no fucks. And that's really interesting because Bobby and Kitty are largely seen as happier X-Men. And following the Hellfire Gala, they're not going to be. They're going to be grittier. We know the two dated in the past. I wonder if their stories are going to intersect. Are they going to sit down and be like, damn, what happened at the Hellfire Gala? That was fucked up. It's changed us. So, man, it's getting gritty out there. Let's see. Next reveal is
Dark X-Men by Steve Fox. I got to tell you, Camelia, I'm so excited for this. So the copy we know is that following the events of the Hellfire Gala and the X-Men leaving a void, Madeline Pryor is going to form her own X-Men, which includes Azazel, Gambit, Archangel, Havoc, Emplate, Zero, and Albert. This lineup is insane. And I'm going to apologize for the audio if you're hearing music in the background. We are renovating our house across the street, and we're staying at the hotel across the street from us. But oh my God, this is next level. We're so excited for this. One thing I'm going to say is I'm not too thrilled at the idea that Madeline has a twisted view of the X-Men. Madeline needs to be a hero now more than ever. But listen, we have Havoc and we have Gambit and we have Emplate and Maddie and Azazel. This is going to be a really interesting team. And I'm curious about the lineup. I'm wondering what kind of twisted version is she going to bring to the table? Again, Maddie needs to stop being a villain. She has a lot of good in her. She has a big heart. I want to see her try to create a world that she wants her son to grow up in, is sort of what I want. Now, I'm curious. They're saying that the world is going to be a very dangerous landscape for the mutants. I mean, again, I'm thinking Nimrod is going to be ruling over, human security. Mutants are going to be locked up. I think it's going to be a very dangerous time to be a mutant. So let's see where it goes. I mean, the internet is broken right now. All right, next up, Familia is, listen, guys, I'm really excited. We love Magic. We love Danny Moonstar. We love Dust. We love Typhoid Mary. These are going to be the characters that are going to be spotlit here in Realm of X. But I did not expect to see Grombek and Nevs tackle this. I thought this was going to be a Teeny Howard book. But so following the events of the X-Men Hellfire Gala issue 1, which now we know how the X-Men Hellfire Gala is going to happen. It's going to happen in X-Men Hellfire Gala issue 1. They're going to be lost in the realm of Vanaheim. And it's going to be Danny, Marrow, Dust, Curse, Typhoid Mary, Magic. And they do note that Danny is a former Valkyrie. So let's see how that plays out. Yeah, I didn't see this title coming. So what's clear to me now more than ever is that following the Hellfire Gala is that shit's going to get real. People are just going to be out for themselves trying to survive. And it's going to be a Red Wedding style. That's the only way I can best say it. One of the things I was thinking about is that we do have an X-Men title following, Dark X-Men, Astonishing X-Men, and this title as well. This title is kind of absolved of having to react to an X-Men title. But what's an X-Men title going to be about if Maddie is leading a version of the X-Men that she feels that the world needs the X-Men? So we have a book called X-Men. Is that going to be more like a secret ops title? Is it going to be kind of like how we saw with Jonathan Hickman, where he was telling stories about characters on Krakoa, but they weren't necessarily X-Men? Let's see where it goes. But yeah, so these reveals are pretty big. I think it's clear more than ever that stuff is going to go down at the Hellfire Gala. It's going to be catastrophic. The X-Men are getting a reboot, for lack of a better term. I think it's a reboot in name only. I think we're going to see Krakoa go away. Krakoa is going to go away, and then it's going to come back later on. But I think for all intents and purposes, Fall of X is going to be a chapter in Krakoa's history where they're not on Krakoa. So let's see where things fall with everything. I'm sorry for the background noise. Again, I'm at a rooftop at our hotel, and our our apartment is being renovated, so I'm trying to react to this content as it happens because I want to be genuinely surprised. We want to be genuinely surprised as all this happens, but sort of some of my expectations that I have for these books. I think for Astonishing Iceman, again, to recap my feels on there, I want Iceman to be, grittier. I want him to hopefully get a new costume. I know the promo image shows him in his regular costume, but the more I've thought about it, I was like, okay, well, maybe we'll get a little bit more from him. I mean, there's no way that he's going to come out of the Hellfire Gala the same old Iceman. He's going to come out different. For Dark X-Men, I want to see Nate come back. That is just me. I get it, internet. That's just me. But I want to see Maddie sort of try to do good, realize that she has power in her that is good, and that she wants to reform the X-Men because now more than ever, the X-Men are needed because we find ourselves in the Days of Future Past dystopian timeline. We find ourselves in Bishop's timeline. We find the mutants are in concentration camps, and Maddie's like, no, we gotta help our people here. And I want Maddie to be organized. Also, a character like Maddie, there's a lot of unresolved issues with the Summers family. It's not looking good for the Summers family right here. I don't know where Cable, Jean, or Scott are at. Rachel, shrug. But let's see where it goes. Realm of X, I'm thinking this is going to be a little bit more tuned to Second Coming, where magic was off in another dimension. But what makes this book really interesting, Realm of X interesting, is that we have a really fun cast of characters. I mean, Dustin, Danny, and Typhoid Mary alone have me so excited. But yeah, I thought this was going to be a Teenie Howard book, so I proudly am fine being wrong. But let's see where everything happens. One thing I'm going to say, I'm tired of the New Mutants in this outfit. I think I was listening to Rob Liefeld's podcast recently, and he was saying that how these costumes initially, when they were made, just kind of fell flat even then in the 80s. I am tired of characters like Magic and Danny Moonstar, who are proven leaders, who are proven powerhouses, wearing a generic school uniform. They are more than that. I hope, again, we're getting a new costume. I hope some of the images we're seeing today are just in promo only. Anyways, from Elia, so that is it. That is our Fall of X reveals recap. Again, I'm going to profusely apologize for the audio. Of course, when I'm recording this, music is blasting here down in Miami, and the sun is like glaring on my face. But what do you guys think? Let us know in the comments below. I'm drinking wine. I cannot wait to discuss this with everyone. We'll do more thorough backgrounds. I've been talking to Steve Fox already on DMs. I congratulated Steve Orlando. We are all excited for the books that are rolling out right now. This was a perfect way to go into a holiday weekend. So let us know your thoughts down below in the comments.